This is the KVR headlight restoration process for cleaning up headlight lenses. Keep the resurfacing pad in the headlamp lens wet during this process. It's very important that it remains wet so that the pad doesn't become plugged with the sandings. Make sure you remove all oxidation off the lens. This is what you're trying to accomplish during this process. After you're finished, you'll wipe down the lens and clean it off with clear water, making sure that you remove all grit. It's very important that you remove all the grit, as this will cause scratching during the polishing process. So remember, all grit must be removed before you start polishing. We're going to put a couple of dime size drops of polish on the polishing pad, and what we're going to do is we're going to work back and forth across the headlamp lens. We're going to keep moving at all times, and during the process the polish will start to dry out a little bit, and what you're going to want to do is wet the surface of the polishing pad with a few drops of water. And what this does is it keeps the polish fluid as you're working back and forth across the lens. Take your time, work around the lens, and make sure you get everything. You'll want to do this for at least 3 minutes or so. It's very important that you polish the whole headlamp lens and work back and forth. Use only light to moderate pressure on the pad, and as you're doing this, as we discussed earlier, you'll see the polish start to haze a little bit, and when it does that, it's starting to dry out. That's the time you'll want to put a little bit of water on it. I'm going to add just a few drops of water to the surface of the polishing pad at this time so that we can continue to polish. All right, we've finished our polishing process, and now we're wiping the haze off the headlamp lens, and you can see how clear it is. It's very important that you get all the polish off right now so that the customer doesn't have to deal with it if it dries up. And as you can see, we have a really nice restoration of the headlamp lens. And then we'll show you what we started with in just a second. And this is what we started with.